An Alaska cruise is a bucket list item for many, and for good reason. We recently took a 7-day cruise aboard Holland America's New Amsterdam, from Whittier, Alaska to Vancouver, British Columbia. Along the way, we saw both the Hubbard Glacier and Glacier Bay National Park. Today, we will compare both of these iconic glacier experiences so you can select the best cruise for you, as well as to know what to expect on your next Alaskan adventure. So let's get started. Our first stop on our cruise was scenic cruising to the Hubbard Glacier. Scenic cruising to Hubbard Glacier typically takes half a day. Ships enter the oddly named Disenchantment Bay, so named because it was not a viable Northwest Passage. Trust us, though, you will not be disappointed. The captains usually spin the ship in slow rotations so that everyone on board can enjoy the sweeping panoramic views, no matter what side of the ship you're on. So if you're watching from a stateroom balcony, the open decks, or even an indoor lounge, passengers get repeated opportunities to watch the massive glacier from multiple angles. We recommend that you use this time to explore different spots on the ship to get a fresh perspective. Holland America also opened up the bow of the ship, and we chose to go up there for a while to gaze and wonder at this remarkable sight.
Welcome to Hubbard Glacier.
Among Alaska's natural wonders, Hubbard Glacier is one of the most striking. Its face is nearly 6 miles across, and the glacier itself runs 76 miles back into the mountains, making it the largest tidewater glacier in North America. It rises about 400 feet above the waterline, which is taller than most skyscrapers, and leaves the visitors speechless. Unlike the majority of glaciers in the world that are shrinking, Hubbard is still advancing and thickening. This unusual growth has earned it the nickname the Galloping Glacier. At times, it has surged so far forward that it has blocked off nearby inlets, creating temporary freshwater lakes. The brilliant blues and deep shadows constantly shift with the light, making each moment unique. No, it really is that blue. This is because of the immense weight of the glacier has squeezed out air, causing the blue wavelengths to be scattered while red and yellow wavelengths are absorbed by the glacier. Witnessing this dynamic sheet of ice is more than just a visual experience. It's an auditory one as well. One can hear the cracks, booms, and splashes from the massive chunks of ice tumbling into the sea. We had fun finding shapes in the passing icebergs, kind of like you do with passing clouds. Holland America offers an excursion aboard a catamaran that takes you right up to the glacier for a close encounter. This can be pricey, as it costs around $350 per person. You can see here how tall the glacier is in comparison to the catamaran when it is up close to the glacier. If you do choose to take this excursion, be sure to dress accordingly, as we were really cold merely standing on the bow of the ship. One factor to keep in mind is that weather and seasonal conditions heavily influence the approach to Hubbard Glacier. Because the glacier sits at the end of a long, narrow bay, the captain will need to monitor conditions carefully, and sometimes itineraries are adjusted or canceled if the ice or weather makes the passage unsafe. We sailed in early August, and outside we did need some heavier clothing and jackets. Early or late season cruisers should definitely plan for even colder conditions. We ended our time at Hubbard Glacier warming up while taking in the spectacular views. We're doing the totally Midwestern thing of sitting here in a hot tub, and it's a little chilly out. Most people are wearing winter coats and hats, but here we are.
This is nice. It's gorgeous out here. And nothing better than sitting in a hot tub, like you said, and having to look at these mountains and all the little icebergs and chunks of ice that fell off. So yeah, just a great day.
Sailing to Hubbard Glacier isn't just a cruise excursion. It's a front row seat to the raw power and beauty of nature. it became one of the most unforgettable highlights of our Alaskan adventure. Our third day on this cruise brought us to Glacier Bay National Park, which is often considered the crown jewel of an Alaskan cruise. Designated as a UNESCO World Biosphere Reserve, a national park, and a national monument, Glacier Bay offers one of the most spectacular days at sea anywhere in the world. Ships usually spend the entire day inside the bay, entering around sunrise and not departing until early evening, giving passengers hours to take in the glaciers, wildlife, and towering scenery. Early in the day, park rangers from Glacier Bay National Park came aboard and provided expert narration about the geography of the bay, shared stories about the glaciers, pointed out wildlife, and hosted educational programs for both children and adults.
1 month. So Marjorie Glacier that we saw today moves about 3 to 7 feet per day. And that's actually pretty fast for a standard glacier.
An elder from the Tlingit indigenous tribe also came on board and spoke about how his people adapted to the ever-changing landscape caused by the glaciers. He also brought artifacts from his people and performed a traditional dance.
At that age, but I sensed at 4 years old that brown bear knew that we were just cubs too. That's the environment they live in.
These interactions greatly enriched the visit and highlighted how humans lived in this area for centuries. As the day came to an end, we all waved goodbye, thanking them as they left the ship. The journey through Glacier Bay takes you past several glaciers, but the main attraction is found deep inside the bay. The Grand Pacific Glacier and the Marjorie Glacier, which sit side by side. Here, cruise ships once again slowly rotate so that every guest has the opportunity to see these icy giants from multiple perspectives. Marjorie Glacier, famous for its dazzling shades of blue ice, stretches about 21 miles long and spans a mile across at its face. It rises 250 feet above the waterline and extends another 100 feet below. That makes it taller than the Statue of Liberty and the U.S. Capitol building. Remarkably, Marjorie also advances at about 6 feet per day, making it one of the fastest moving glaciers in Alaska. The Grand Pacific Glacier, in contrast, is a little harder to spot. It descends from the mountains and picks up rocks and debris along the way that have covered its surface, giving it the appearance of a massive dirt slope rather than a traditional sheet of ice. Although less photogenic, it's still fascinating from a geological perspective, especially since it lies almost perpendicular to Marjorie, separated by a moraine. As ships begin their journey back out of the bay, they pass an inlet that leads to Johns Hopkins Glacier. While vessels cannot approach too closely due to protected seal and sea otter populations, the view is still extraordinary. The glacier was named after Johns Hopkins University in Baltimore, Maryland, in 1793 by Harry Fielding Reid. It is one of the few advancing tidewater glaciers of the Fairweather Range. Behind the glacier, mountains rise as high as 13,000 feet, dwarfing even the immense glaciers and showcasing just how vast and rugged Alaska's landscape truly is. Access to Glacier Bay is carefully managed. Only a handful of cruise ships are even allowed permits to sail through there, and just 2 ships are allowed in per day. Because of this, itineraries through Glacier Bay National Park are limited, and many travelers consider themselves very fortunate if they're able to secure one. We sure were happy that we had this incredible experience. With its combination of immense glaciers, vibrant wildlife, and pristine wilderness, Glacier Bay National Park offers an unforgettable glimpse into the raw beauty of the last frontier. We had a spectacular time visiting both Hubbard Glacier and Glacier Bay National Park. Both offer something a little bit different, but they both offer scenic cruising experiences that will leave you in awe and wonder. Are you planning on going on an Alaskan cruise anytime soon? Do you plan on visiting either of these pristine locations, or have you recently visited them yourselves? Leave a comment below and let us know about your experiences or what wonderful plans you have in the future. We thank you for watching, and stay tuned next week as we take you to Skagway, Alaska for some fun adventures. Happy cruising!